Sell them to them. Sell them to them.
With me, Jimmy Motson, Baldly Motson, on the beat, talking all things football, feel it in your seat.
Yeah, but Lee, that's their fault.
Shabbat line.
Football therapy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Football Therapy. I'm Lee, and tonight, myself and Jordan are opening the case files on football's infamous transfer flops. Every transfer window, the numbers spiral higher. 100 million here, 50 million there. Record-breaking fees that promise a new era of glory. We're told these new players are the next big thing, the missing piece of the puzzle, the saviours of our clubs. But what happens when the dream becomes a nightmare? When the multi-million-pound striker can't find the net, when the world-class playmaker can't adapt, and the wonder kid vanishes under the weight of expectation. From colossal missteps to the players who simply lost their spark. Tonight's not about mockery, it's about the immense pressure, tactical mismatches, injuries, and the human side of falling short when the world is watching. We're dissecting the transfer that make us ask, is it all worth it? So grab your tissues, maybe a stress ball, a nice glass of something wet, and let's start a new session of football therapy. So tonight, first of all, let's bring on my co-host for the night. It's the man on the mic. It is Mr. Jord Motson.
Jord Motson, the man on the mic, painting the match with a sound so right. Sheffield's pride, every fan can see. He's the voice of the Blades, their melody.
Evening, Jord. You all right, pal?
I'm very well, thank you. Are you all right?
Yeah, steady, mate. And well done yesterday, by the way, on the watch-along with Mel Drew over on Blade Ramble. It was a good watch-along. Shane's score weren't as good as what you two were. So
I know. I feel sorry for Jim having to try and pick a short on that because I don't think there's going to be much highlights apart from us complaining about either team or the goal. But yeah, let's move on from that one. We're into football therapy.
Too right, mate. Well, tonight, mate, we're going to talk about some of these players that just haven't, down the years, there's well-known footballers and they've come with a big, band and this, that, and other. They're going to be the next big thing, and they've just not done it. So down the years been, big failures to some of the biggest clubs in the world. I mean, there were Coutinho to Barcelona, Hazard, Real Madrid, Nicolas Pepe to Arsenal. But tonight we've got 4 players from the recent past picked by Jim, Paul, yourself, and myself who flopped at major English teams. And between ourselves and the viewers, we'll decide who was the biggest failure. Also, if the viewers want to throw some names in the comments, feel free to do so. We'll read them out along with your reasoning during the show. We'll also be continuing the Predictions League at the end of the show, where one of the Platinum Ramblers gets to pit their knowledge against mine, Jordan, Jim, and Paul's lack of it. So if you want to take us first, mate, and kick off, feel free. Who you got?
Can I just say before I start, that intro was absolutely magnificent.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate that.
Did you write that yourself?
I did write it myself with the help of AI. Thank you very much.
No,
my friend. Yeah. Cheers,
I mean, to be honest, I think Jim should take a back seat now from when he starts off because there's no beating that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It can only go downhill from there, can't it? So
absolutely.
So I was saying going downhill. It's going uphill now. So we'll take your first one on.
Correct. So my first one was actually the poster boy, and I know Ian's probably going to disagree with this one because he's scored for Villa tonight, as he says in the comments that I've seen. But I'm talking about his time at Manchester United, and it's Jadon Sancho that I've gone for. So he made total appearances altogether of 83 appearances for Man U. He got 12 goals and 6 assists. 58 of them were in the Premier League, his appearances, 9 goals and 6 assists, and it averaged out at him playing 63 minutes per game for that. The big talking point here for me is Manchester United paid 73 million for him. Now, he took on wages of £250,000 a week on a 5-year contract for that. And I don't think he exactly returned in his tally of assists or goals. And a lot of his appearances, I did think, come front bench as well, as he fell out of favour with Eric Ten Hag. He started off as a youth player at Watford and Manchester City before he signed for a first senior contract in 2017 with Borussia Dortmund. And over 4 seasons with Dortmund, he made 137 appearances winning the DFL Super Cup in 2019 and the German Cup in 2020-21 season, where he then finished the top scorer of that tournament. Then, obviously, on July 1st, 2021, Man United and Dortmund reached an agreement for Sancho's transfer. And this was completed on the 23rd of July for a reported fee, like I said, of 73 million. He made his debut on the 14th of August. This was a substitute in a 5-1 league win over Leeds. He didn't score for Man U until the 23rd of November, and this were against Villarreal, which secured a spot in the knockout stage of the Cup. 5 days later, he then scored his first Premier League goal. So we were waiting quite a while just to get a goal. What's that, like 2 or 3 months?
Yeah.
It's not, it's not a great start, I think, for his big fee that obviously has been commanded and it's been paid. He then weren't included in Man United's squad for their game against Arsenal on 3rd of September. And Erik ten Hag explained that Sancho wasn't picked due to his performances in training, stating that players have to reach a level every day at Manchester United. He then followed it up, Sancho, and wrote on social media that I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I have conducted myself very well in training this week, and I've been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. So for me, his manager's called him out for what he's not, doing in training, and instantly he's got his back up and he's not listening to his manager, and he's now coming out on social media arguing against the manager. United then announced on the 14th of September that Sancho would train away from the first team group, pending a resolution of squad discipline. Didn't get a game then. And on the 14th of January 2024, Sancho returned to Borussia Dortmund on loan for the rest of the season and expressed his desire to leave Man United with his exclusion from the squad. Dortmund paid $4 million for him at that time. And on 28th of April that year, Sancho overtook Tony Woodcock to become the highest scoring Englishman in the Bundesliga, opening the scoring in a 4-1 defeat against Red Bull Leipzig. This record lasted under 5 months, as he would then be surpassed by Harry Kane. So, yeah, I just think I've got plenty more stats that I could go through, but I think I've reeled off quite enough there and talked quite a bit, stating the reason why Jadon Sancho became a big flop at Man United for the wages that he were earning on a high contract and a long contract, and for the money that they paid for a young lad at the time. Yes, he was getting a big write-up, but I think it was a typical English media sort of thing as well, bigging him up, making him out to be a fantastic player, the next big thing, and he believed his own hype. And also, since he's left Man U, he's not really hit the highs that he did when he first started out at Dortmund either. So, yeah, I've rambled on a little bit there. Hence, Ramble FC, that's what we call it. It's a bit of ramble. Jadon Sancho is my choice.
I remember him when he were at Man City as a kid, I believe, and he went to Dortmund. They bought him over, and the way he used to go past players were fantastic. Dribbling and everything, and they were an end product. But even then, there were rumours about indiscipline and being late for training and things like that.
Yeah,
and it looks like it's just carried on through his career. I mean, he went to Chelsea. Chelsea had a chance to sign him, didn't they, or an obligation, and they've actually paid Man United not to sign him.
Correct.
They've actually given him money, so they didn't. Is it Villa now? Is it Villa into him? He's not doing too well.
Like I said, I've seen it in comments, which we'll get to a bit later on. He's scored for Villa, Ian says, tonight. So, I mean, I don't think he's been making that many appearances for Villa, has he? Not from what I can remember. I didn't took too much notice on that, that transfer that he's made to them and Villa's games, but I'm sure he's not been playing too much. And this must be a game where I don't know if Villa don't need to win, they're already through, so they've obviously played him, and he's scored his first goal for them, I believe.
I mean, it's a shame really when you think about it, because when he were hitting the eyes, he were in the England squad. He were playing for England. He looked a real player, yeah. And again, it's just flopped. I mean, for that amount of money and the wages, as a Man United fan, you've got to be expecting more than that. And I'd class him as a flop. I think you're right, Jordan. I think he really is a flop. He really is.
Yeah.
Shall I move on to mine? Do you want mine?
Yep. You. Let's listen to yours, because I think this one is a winner for me.
So my choice is Mykhailo Mudryk of Chelsea. So this kid's come over as the biggest sale of any Ukrainian player of all time. He was at Shakhtar Donetsk, and on the 15th of January 2023, he signed for Chelsea for £62 million initially, rising to £89 million with bonuses. For Chelsea, he's had 73 total appearances with 10 goals and 11 assists. But in the Premier League, he's only had 53 games and only 5 goals, 6 assists. And he only averages 45 minutes a game. You know, this is a big outlay for 45 minutes a game. Is allegedly on 100 grand a week. Anyway, this is the largest transfer fee, like I said, received by a Ukrainian Premier League side for a Ukrainian footballer. Mudryk, his debut came on the 21st of January as Chelsea drew 0-0 away at Liverpool in a league match. But it wasn't until the 2nd of October that year that he scored his first competitive goal for Chelsea. It was his 24th appearance. On the 17th of December that year, he was reported to the FA I've lost this now. On the 17th of December 2024, it was reported that the FA provisionally suspended Mudryk after testing positive for doping. And then on the 5th of June 2025, his number 10 shirt was given to Cole Palmer. So Chelsea, you know, they're having done with him here.
Yeah.
You know, he's not having it.
Anyway, they're angry, aren't they? It sounds like that.
Well, they're starting to, yeah.
Yeah.
Later that month, so they must have known this was coming. On the 18th of June, the FA charged him with violating anti-doping rules and could face a 4-year ban. So reports are now saying that in January this year now, he started training and his suspension could be lifted, allowing him to train with the first team squad again at Chelsea. But a big Ukrainian sports journalist called Viktor Vatsko has said he will not appear this season. From what he's been told, we shouldn't expect Mudryk to return until at least the end of this season, start of next season. He says, and these are from conversations with various sources. But still, while he's banned, he's still receiving his 100 grand a week wages.
Wow.
So, you know what I mean? First of all, he's got himself banned. What is he doing? He's not performed when he's been there playing, and yet he's still picking up his wages.
Yeah. Surely you'd
expect.
I'd expect if a player, you know, written into their contract, if a player gets banned for doping or anything like that, it's a breach of the contract, surely.
Exactly.
So surely he shouldn't be receiving any type of wage at all. But the fact that he's took drugs or whatever, to then receive 100 grand a week, still he's laughing. Who's the winner there? He doesn't have to do anything.
No, it's poor. You know, the fact that as a professional footballer, you're earning well, you should be putting your best out on the pitch, which isn't happening, and then you're letting your club down as well, and all the fans at Chelsea.
Yeah,
by getting yourself banned for drugs, I think it's shocking, to be quite honest.
Absolutely. And he's not even, for me, I can't even remember him coming out and denying it. He's just accepted it. You know, it's so a lot of players you see, or any sports people they see, if they've took drugs or, you know, been spiked or anything like that, they will come out straight away, deny it and fight it. Mudryk, I don't remember doing that. It's
very hard to argue when your A and your B sample are positive.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe he's just got to sit back and take it. He might get away with a 2-year ban as it comes round, because I know some boxers get away with a 2-year ban, and it just to a court of arbitration, doesn't it? But
he plays for Chelsea again. Do you think he play or any team in England, or do you think that they wash their hands with him, and because they're not going to get that much money back from him either? So do they just cut ties with him and let him go?
I think they'll try and get what they can back for him, and he'll end up somewhere like Italy, a Genoa or somebody like that.
Yeah,
who'll take him on, or maybe somewhere in France. But I can't see an English club taking him on, and I can't see a way back for him at Chelsea. So basically, he's my flop. So I'm quite happy with that one, and I would not be happy if I was a Chelsea fan.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that.
So, mate, who are you taking next?
Let me just get back onto my notes, because for some reason I've decided to close them off, and I need to get back to them. Do you want to have a look at some comments just while I do that, Lee? Yeah,
why not? Let's start. So the first one tonight we've got is from Lou, from Batman Lou. So, evening football therapists, Torres to Chelsea and Varane to Man United come to mind, but I can't see past Mikhailo Mudryk. Love that, Lou, because of the fee. Depends whether you base it on expense or reputation. That is fair. That is fair. Who we got next? We got your co-host from last night, Mark Meldrew.
Evening, Mark.
Evening, lads. Shevchenko, when he arrived from Milan, was horrific. Hazard at Real Madrid is one of the biggest drop-offs I've ever seen. The level he was at during his days at Chelsea was unbelievable. Totally agree with that, mate. But it carries on. Then he fell off a cliff completely. if you're going off complete expense and don't let the last few weeks fool you, Wirtz has been poor as well for the money they paid. That is fair, but he does look a good player, that lad. I think he'll come good personally.
I think with that one, it's give him a bit of time. He's been there, a couple of months. He's Liverpool have been quite poor.
Yeah.
By their standards. They've signed Isak for a lot of money. He's been poor. So there's probably a fair few players in that Liverpool team you could mention that aren't pulling the weight at this moment in time. So I think give him a little bit more time. The ones that we've mentioned probably had a year or two, and that's where we've probably narrowed it down to, haven't we?
Yeah, these what we've brought in. They've had at least a season and a half, and they're not pulling up trees. I mean, with Mudrik's case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's only been there with this summer, wasn't it? So
yeah,
he's got to give him a chance.
Exactly. I'll jump onto this one. Oh, go on. I'll let you read that one.
I'll just do it. I can't not do Ian because he might kick us off. So your thumbnail, boy, Sancho scored for Villa this evening. So you were talking about that, weren't you?
I'd seen that. So yeah, he might have scored tonight, but like I say, we're basing it on his time at Man United, and then obviously after Man U, he's not really picked up either. So, but my flop for him was at Man U, which brings me on to this next one. This is Paul's choice, isn't it? This one.
Yep.
And it's another one for Manchester United, and it's of more recent times as well. And it's Antony. So Man United signed Antony from Ajax for £82 million initially, which could rise to £86 million. He made a total appearances altogether of 96 appearances. Very similar to Jadon Sancho's record here, 12 goals and 5 assists. 62 appearances came in the Premier League with only 5 goals and 3 assists, and he averaged 53 minutes per game. So for that amount of money, to only get 53 minutes, I mean, he's lasting just over half time, isn't it? It's pretty poor for that. You want him to be. I know not every player is going to average 90 minutes a game. That it's impossible because they're going to get injuries or they're going to be subbed. But what would you say is an average you'd look at? I'd be looking at, for that type of money, at least 75 minutes per game.
75. It's sometimes a bit different for an attacking player because they want to freshen it up, isn't it? But you want 75 minutes out of them. We have the issues with Tyrese Campbell at our club, don't we? Where he doesn't seem to be able to last.
Absolutely.
But at least we get 60 out of him.
Just about, I'd say. So I'll just give you a little background on Antony. He made his senior debut for Sao Paulo in 2018. He then moved abroad in 2020 to Ajax, where he won 2 Eredivisie titles and 1 KNVB Cup during his 2 seasons there. Then on 30th of August 2022, Ajax confirmed they'd reached an agreement with Manchester United for Antony's transfer. And 2 days later, this was completed as Antony signed a 5-year deal. So another 5-year deal they'd given a player. One, they'd done it to Sancho. They'd given a 5-year deal to Antony, paid big bucks, and he was on £105,000 a week. Like I said, and the fee were 82 million with 4.25 in add-ons. This was Man United's 3rd highest transfer fee ever paid, and that were after Pogba and Romelu Lukaku. Also, it was Ajax's Ajax and the Eredivisie's biggest transfer fee ever. So he's already got big things to live up to for that fee. And so on the 4th of September, Antony scored on his debut. So a little bit better than Jadon Sancho, this one. And that were in a 3-1 win over Arsenal. He then scored again in United's next league match in a 6-3 defeat to Manchester City on the 2nd of October. On the 23rd of February, Antony scored a winner in the 2-1 Europa League playoff win over Barcelona. And on the 26th of February, he started in Man United's EFL Cup final, which beat Newcastle 2-0. So that will win his first ever trophy for the club. However, he then fell out with Manchester United's manager, Erik ten Hag, again, who had managed Antony at Ajax. So obviously, he's already worked. Not unlike Sancho, Antony's already worked under Erik ten Hag. So he knows how he is. He knows what he's going to be like. He knows his managerial style. Obviously, ten Hag will then replace Werner by Amorim in 2024 in November. So on the 25th of January, Antony was loaned out to Real Betis, and that went until the end of the 24-25 season. He ended the season with 14 goal contributions for them in all competitions, This were at Betis, and it helped the team qualify for the Europa League and leading the media to label his time there as a career revival. And in May 2025, Man United put Anthony on the transfer list. So he's been there 2-3 seasons?
Yeah.
And he's already been loaned out for half a season on that one. On the September 1st, 2025, Anthony completed a permanent transfer to Real Betis for 20 million.
Oh.
So it's a 66 million pound loss. And that's, going to be after they've paid 3 years of his wages at 100 grand, 105,000 pound a week. Manchester United fans, and other fans, have touted Anthony as one of the worst signings in Man United's history due to his high price and lack of goals. However, having found form at Betis, critics and fans alike have both, I don't know if you've said sarcastically and unsarcastically praised him for his good performances. So yeah, it's a big fee, not much in return in goals and assists wise, leaving the club as well to go on loan somewhere else in Spain, playing better and like you said, reviving his career a little bit where he's then gone on a permanent transfer. But to pay 80 odd million pound and only receive 20 million pound back of that, and they've paid his wages on top, you're probably looking 100 million pound, and they've lost 80 million on this player. So it's definitely a flop. Another one again, which is worrying for Manchester United.
Definitely, and in the same position as well. It's as if they're searching for the young Ronaldo that they had. With the fancy feet, who then developed. And these two that you've talked about, neither of them have developed. And I'm sure I remember hearing that when Man United went in for Ajax had a price in mind, and Man United just offered double straight away. So Ajax pushed them up.
Yes.
A bit like they did with Xerxes at Bologna, apparently. They were willing to sell him for so much, and then they offered more.
That's another one that could be mentioned. It's Man United that keep cropping up in this, because I was thinking about it earlier, and obviously we picked our players, but I thought they paid a fair bit of money for Xerxes, because they wanted probably half of that, and Man United paid 40 million. And what has he done? I mean, he looks an awful footballer for me. He'll probably go maybe back to Italy and probably do well. But yeah, it seems to be a common theme recently that Man United pay the big bucks, put the players on high wages, and they never get the returning value for that player.
Totally agree. And then when you look at Anthony when he actually played, you didn't really see that threat. It were more like a show pony, like a bit of flair, a bit of that. And he once did that turn, didn't he?
Yeah, well, literally just going to say that.
On his own, with nobody around him. I mean, what's it all about?
It became a bit of a meme, I think, didn't it, that as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Makes it more laughable at the same time.
For the money he's earning again and the return. I mean, he got as many goal contributions in half a season at Betis as he did in his Premier League career.
Yeah.
In fact, he got more. And it's crazy, really, that he's obviously a talented player that hasn't realised what you've got to do in the English game to push on. Or at a club the size of Man United, a lot of players fall away at that club because they can't live with the size of it. They don't understand the size of that club.
I think the physicality as well. A lot of these players from abroad come, and I don't think they realise how physical the game is. And players get tight in that league, and they want to kick lumps. They want to kick lumps at you, and especially when you've got a player like, I don't know, at the time, let's say Mark Gay were £35 million, which is still a lot of money. But he sees a forward or a winger here running at him that's £85 million. He's saying, "Come on, then, show me what you've got.
Yeah,
let's see what you've got. Because if you're not, I'm gonna take you out. I'm gonna win the ball. I'm gonna take you out, and I'll make you look rubbish." And that's what I think a lot of defenders were doing. In Premier League, and Anthony didn't like it. He didn't like the physical side of it. Once he got tackled, referees weren't giving fouls. It'd have probably got in the Eredivisie and stuff, because I always think European referees.
Yeah,
they're quick to blow the whistle when someone goes down. So them fouls were making that he weren't getting were frustrating him, and then he just threw a towel in. And then that were it. His game were gone, and then he's getting substituted. So you need players that are mentally strong, don't you, in Premier League, that can face up to this adversity at times and work hard for it and come back stronger. They're not always gonna, they're not gonna play every game and be a 9 out of 10. But you're still got to be a team player, and you've got to work hard and eventually find your feet. And then when you do, you show the class that you've got.
Totally agree. And you look at it as well. 2 managers didn't fancy him at Man United. That have shipped him out.
That says a lot, doesn't it? That he had a chance to redeem himself under Amorim, and they shipped him out straight away. So again, is that a mentality and an attitude problem at the same time?
Yeah, and you look, Ten Hag was the man that actually took him there.
Yeah,
and and then so he's put his backing behind him, and for him to then push him to one side, and then Amarin to come in and just say, "Come on, get yourself off."
Yeah,
it says something. We don't probably see what's going off in training, but it doesn't sound like he's putting it in. And maybe that's along the same lines as Jadon Sancho were doing at Manchester United as well. Yeah. So totally agree with you, mate. Definitely a flop. Do you want to read some comments out, mate?
Yeah, we can do. So Mark started us next. Remember to like and subscribe. I'm looking forward to this one. Cheers, Mark. Ian then throws a dig at the rivals of us, the Hillsborough side. He says, I go but S6. Ryan scored more at their ground than him. He did. And
Ian loves Ryan, doesn't he? Loves a bit of Ryan.
He were a big admirer of him, weren't he? Ian then follows this up with, love the new trailer, Thuboffly.
Don't know what you're about.
You're never going to live that down, are you, Lee?
Not at all. I could have got away with it as well if I wouldn't have outed myself with it.
Yeah, but your own fault.
I know, yeah.
Because you didn't have to sell it. In fact, I'm going to out you for it as well. You didn't have to sell it. You just spat on the screen because I don't think many of us noticed.
You got to be right, haven't you?
Too honest, mate. Too honest. Mark then says he's the voice of the Blades. Thank you. He's referring to my my theme tune. And then Dave, we're super chat at £20. Dave Morwood, what a legend. And I'm sure Jimmy will be well happy with that because we won't see a penny of it. But thank you, Dave.
Cheers, Dave. Thank you very much, mate.
Says, I'm going back to 1979 approximately. And Steve Daly's transfer to Manchester City from Wolves. For then a British record of £1.5 million. 20 months later, he was sold to an NSL team for 300k. A flop indeed. Up all the rambles. Like and subscribe, please. Do you remember this one? Because this is way before my time, Lee, so I'm kind of looking at you for this one.
Well, to be fair, I were 8. So not great, but I can remember him playing for Man City vaguely. But I couldn't really tell you, what he played like. And I'm sure he had blonde hair, quite longish blonde hair. But I can't really tell you, much about him if I'm down. Dave does age me slightly. He's just a little bit older than me, Dave.
Carl then says, this is, my pal, evening Carl, says, evening lads, love the show and keep up the good work, top man, and thank you very much for your comment. And then I'll just finish with this one. Ian says, agree with Sancho at Man U, came with such a great record at Dortmund. Yeah, I agree. And that's where I were aiming at. It's his time at Man U, complete flop.
100%. So shall I go on with the last one, which were Jimmy's pick?
Yeah, that's fine.
So just while under that, Jimmy, happy birthday to your girls, by the way.
Yes, happy birthday, girls.
So Jimmy's pick is Romelu Lukaku at Chelsea, and he's edging his bets here because he's got two visits for this, hasn't he? Because he was there twice. So on the 8th of August 2011, he signed from Anderlecht for 10 million that rose to 17, and then he also had another go on the 12th of August 2021, so 10 years later, but this time from Inter Milan for £97.5 million. I mean, that's a lot of money. Anyway, in 2011...
That's the most out of the four players that we've mentioned.
It is. And in 2011, he was a young kid. He just come over from Belgium.
Yeah.
He only made 15 appearances, and all he had was 1 assist. He had 10 Premier League games, just that 1 assist, and he averaged 20 minutes. But as a young kid at Chelsea, trying to break through, it's understandable.
There's a lot of kids doing it. There's a lot that they're signing. It's a bit,
it's a business for
these days, isn't it? They're signing a lot of young lads, bringing them in, and then making money on them, even without making that many appearances. 7
and 8 year contracts, get them out on loan, sell them on. It's a business plan.
Yeah.
He came back in 2021, and he played 42 times for him total. Scored 13 goals, so you're starting to get a return, and 2 assists. In the Premier League, he had 26 appearances, 8 goals and 1 assist, but he still only averaged 60 minutes a game. You're still not getting anywhere near your outlay, especially not for £97.5 million. It's a lot in it.
For that type of money, I mean, we can complain when our team signs players for what we thought were 10 million, but we know it's considerably lower, and he's not scoring as many as what people would like or thought he would. But for 97 million, yes, I know it's a different division, I know it's a lot higher league and, you know, playing in European competitions, and he's an international striker. So a bit of a difference, but it's still a lot of money. You expect him to be available a hell of a lot longer, you know, a lot longer time on pitch and scoring more goals.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. So a bit of background behind it all. Lukaku began his career at Anderlecht, where he won the Belgian Pro League and finished as top goal scorer. So in August 2011, Chelsea signed him on a 5-year deal for 10 mil that did rise to 17. He spent the majority of his first season playing for the reserves and started his first Premier League game on the 13th of May 2012. So right at the end of the season.
Yeah.
He provided an assist in that for John Terry. So that was his one assist of his first spell, was a John Terry goal. However, Lukaku did stress he was disappointed with his involvement at the end of his debut season. And after Chelsea had won the Champions League, he wouldn't touch the trophy. He says, it's nothing to do with me. My team won this. It's nothing to do with me. So he's got a bit of a strop on, and this is a young kid.
Yeah.
You know. So after speculation linking Lukaku with a loan move to Fulham, in August 2012, he joined West Brom on a season-long loan. He outscored every single one of his Chelsea teammates in the Premier League that season, being the 6th highest goal scorer on 17 goals. So he's obviously got it. It's just not working at Chelsea while he's a young kid.
I can remember that season. He was a bit. Yeah. He was sort of. Don't get me wrong. When he first joined Chelsea, he was a big unit then. But I swear, at West Brom, he looked even bigger. He looked. Yeah. He got the dreadlocks at time, and he just looked an absolute unit. And he was a beast. And he fitted really well, didn't he, at West Brom? Like really well into that system. And obviously, he scored 17 goals for him. So Chelsea must have thought to themselves here, perfect. We've got a striker. This is the striker that we've signed. That's
it, yeah. So he came back for the 2013-14 season, played 2 Premier League matches for him, and he also come on as a sub in the UEFA Super Cup, where he missed a penalty in the shootout. But on the final day of the transfer window that summer, he joined Everton, and I remember him going to Everton.
Yeah, I do. This was big money as well, wasn't it? About £40 million.
No, he went on loan to start with.
Oh, were it? Sorry,
he went on loan for a season. Yeah. He did go there eventually, though, for about, you're right.
Yeah.
Anyway, he found the net 15 times in 31 games for Everton and took him to 5th place. You know what I mean? It's a club record Premier League points for Everton, and he was a massive part of it.
Yeah.
He was also named by The Guardian as one of the top 10 promising young players in Europe. So, you can see he's building into as a player.
Yeah.
But it's away from Chelsea.
Yeah.
They're not seeing the money they put in.
Yeah.
So at the end of that season, July 2014, he was sold to Everton, like you said, on a 5-year deal, but we're only for 28 mil. But it's a profit on what they paid out, the 17. Yeah. So they're getting something back for it, but they've not gained from his transfer apart from financially, have they?
No.
You know what I mean? He's not given anything.
And then to pay 90-odd million later on. So they've only gained a small profit, and then their expenditure is massive on him again.
Correct. So in 2017, July 2017, Man United signed him on a 5-year deal for 75 million plus 15 million in add-ons. So you can see his value is going up because of his time at Everton.
Yeah.
He just didn't do it at Man United. They didn't really play the style for him, to be honest. But it seems to me, when he goes to big clubs, he doesn't seem to be doing well.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying there. Two of the big, at the time as well, big massive clubs in English football, well, still are. Yeah. He's not doing it, but it seems to me he performed better elsewhere than the 2 clubs you just mentioned. And the big fees that's been paid for him, he's not returned on that. But then when he's gone elsewhere, like your Everton and your West Brom and your Inter Milan, he's done really well for him. So you can tell he's got something about. He obviously had something about. I mean, he were part of that Belgian team where everyone thought they were going to win a trophy at some point, and they failed as well, didn't they? But he were always the main man up top for them.
And I think that's the difference, Jordan. That at West Brom and at Everton, he was the main man.
Yeah.
At these other clubs, maybe not so much, and they don't play to his strengths. Like Everton and West Brom definitely played to his strengths.
Yeah. I suppose you could say at Man U as well. When he played there, well, to be honest, ever since Fergie's left, they've not been the same team.
Oh, definitely.
They've not won. They've not won many trophies. The one I remember, obviously, were under 10 Hag when they won FA Cup of the year. But so all these big money signings that they've made haven't really gone on to do that much. And like I say, it's the same thing that I keep coming back to with Manchester United. They're getting a lot of flops.
Yeah.
But Lukaku, when he's obviously played in Premier League, he's been a goal scorer because he's proved it at Everton and West Brom. And then, like I say, Inter Milan, he did really well for them. And did you see Roma? Did you say? I'm sure he did all right for them.
Yeah, he went to Inter Milan in 2019 on a 5-year deal for 65 mil. So Man United again are losing. They've lost 25 million on him.
He's always gone for a big fee, though, hasn't he?
Scores goals, goal scorers do.
How well scouted he's been, I guess, because people, teams are getting told to spend big money on him because they believe he's the big thing for them, don't he?
Exactly. So anyway, after that, 2 years later, he comes back to Chelsea in 2021. 5-year deal, 97.5 million quid, 325 grand a week. 325,000 pound a week. I thought Sancho's wage would take some beating, but that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
In making that move, with that move to Chelsea, Lukaku became the most expensive player of all time. He overtook Neymar, 285 million pounds worth of transfer fees. It's a lot of money, isn't it? It's a lot of money.
It is for one player. It is for one player. You're probably I'm going to say you probably might not see that again, but it just depends if, like you say, Averts at Liverpool is 100 odd million, and then he joins someone else at 100 odd million. But you're highly unlikely to see that because if someone pays 100 odd million for a player and they play well, the club's going to want to keep him.
They keep him. Yeah, I mean, Lukaku, he said he admitted in an interview he requested Inter to reach agreement with Chelsea. He said he wanted to go back. He really wanted to go back to Chelsea, and that was the club he wanted to go to. So they made it work. Anyway, when he'd gone back, 22nd of August, on his second debut, he scored in the 15th minute. So it's a great start for him. 2 days later, he scores his first European Cup goal for Chelsea. On 8th of October, he's one of 5 Chelsea players included in the 30-man shortlist for the Ballon d'Or. So that year before at Inter Milan, obviously, this is why Chelsea wanted him back, because it's all to do with that year, putting him back in the spotlight. He came 12th in the end. Anyway, in late December of his first year back, Lukaku stoked controversy when during an interview with Sky, he reported he's not happy. He said the head coach Tuchel has chosen to play with another system, comparing the team's tactics with that at Inter that made him leave. In the same interview, he went on to express his wish to return to Inter. He's only just got there and he's wanting to go back. Unbelievable. So consequently, Tuchel dropped him from the squad altogether for a match against Liverpool. After holding talks with Tuchel, Lukaku issued an apology, saying, "I'm sorry for the upset I've caused," and stated he wanted to just move forward. He was restored to the first team squad, but was fined for his comments. Lukaku finished that season with Chelsea, having scored 8 goals in 26 games. So it's not the worst return, but it's not worth the money they've paid out and the wages. Yeah. He was judged by ESPN that season to be the worst signing of the Premier League for that season. There's been some bad ones.
Yeah.
But, for that, it's bad. Anyway, on June the 29th, 2022, Chelsea announced that Lukaku were going back to Inter for a loan for all that season. It was reported that Inter paid £6 million on loan. In 37 games, Lukaku scores 14 goals. He's back and he's comfortable again, isn't he? He's starting to score.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's not massive, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
The next season, Chelsea goes back to Chelsea, send him out on loan again. They don't want him again. Sent to Syria, goes to Roma on a season-long loan, 8 million quid for the loan, 21 goals in 47 games. So everywhere else he's going, he's not worked out, is it? He's doing well. So anyway, it comes to the summer of 2024, and Lukaku gets permanently transferred to Napoli for a fee worth 30 mil. So they've lost over 50 million quid on him, in the time he's been there. And what's he played? Were it 30 odd games in that time? Yeah. 42 full games, 26 in the Premier League for that amount of money. For me, it's a massive flop from a player that's got so much talent and ability, and size and physical strength.
When you think of it, that's like just under or just over £2 million a game. When you look at it that way, if you're saying 40 odd appearances he's made for them, that's it's just over £2 million a game. That is, and then you've got his wages on top at 300.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. You're not. That's a 1.2 million a month. It's crazy money. And they were. I read that they said that Inter Milan were paying hardly any of his wages the first time he went, because Chelsea just wanted to get him out of the club.
Yeah, wanted to get him out of the club.
So it's ridiculous, really. The amount of money that's wasted on talent, but the talent just doesn't turn up for these big clubs.
Yeah.
So if you all you viewers fancy getting in the comments, letting us know which one of the four you think that we've chosen is the worst signing, the biggest flop for a team, or you can give us one of your own. We'd like to see who you're pulling through for. But I think they're going to take some beating them for English club flops in the recent history, anyway.
Yeah, recent history. I'm intrigued to see what other
apart from
people
Steve
say,
Daly at Man City. Don't forget Steve Daly at Man City. Apart from him, but these are bad ones.
To see what other people say, and we've got quite a fair few comments that have come in. So thank you to everyone that is is joining in on this. Do you want to read? These next set out, Lee?
I can start, mate. Yeah, of course we can. So we'll start off with Mr. Vancouver, Mr. Tequila.
Mr. Tequila.
By the way, Charlie Nicholas was a huge flop back in the day. When he went to Arsenal, he was, yeah, dead right. When he came from Celtic, I remember that, yeah. He had a bit of talent, but he enjoyed the nightlife in London a little bit too much. Did champagne, Charlie Nicholas.
What was it? Paul Merson and
before them, just before them.
He were another one that liked his champagne lifestyle, didn't he, in London?
I think it was just the way the times were, to be fair, back in them days. So.
They could play drunk, couldn't they? Especially Paul Gascoigne.
Well, yeah, definitely. So your next one up is Brian. Good evening, Ramble family. Hope everyone is well. As ever, please keep the chat nice and clean, no shouting, and enjoy your time here on the Best Blades channel. Cheers, Brian. Appreciate that. So we've got Lou back again, Batman Lou. Stan Collymore to Villa was often seen as a flop. Proven forward at the time, but he was a massive 7 million fee for the time. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was big. I remember it. And he didn't really deliver. Reportedly, some mitigating issues at the time. Wasn't it to do with Ulrika Johnson? Didn't he have a bit of a gooey trouble with her?
I mean, watching football, and I've watched Premier League years, and this, that story came about him, and I'm sure it were Ulrika Johnson at the time, and there were a few problems, weren't there?
Yeah, allegedly he went very, very nice to her, what we had, and that's all I'll say on it because I don't want to get him in trouble, do I?
Yeah, we don't want to give him time, do we? We don't need to.
Exactly right. So your next one's Brian. To Carl Lowell's evening, mate, having a chat in the background, lovely. Brian, does anybody think Tevez to City was a bit of a flop? I don't know really. It didn't end very well, did it? Where he wouldn't come on, would he? At one point,
was that when he had trouble with Mancini? Were it?
Yeah. But I think you were all right.
He scored a few goals, didn't he? I think, and I can't remember. Did Man City even pay a fee for him? I
don't know. I don't know because he had 2 years on loan. He had 2 years on loan at Man United, didn't he, to start with?
He did.
He went there.
And then he went there. And I can't remember if it were a free transfer or there might have been a small fee. I don't think it were a huge one.
It does
remember it being a big hooah that obviously had been playing at Man U and then he joined City, went with it big billboards of the City at the time.
But it doesn't stick out to me as one I remember as being a bit of a flop.
Don't be mean.
A lot of the others are. But Brian, I'm not disagreeing with you, mate. It could well have been. I just don't know enough about it, to be honest. Batman Lou, I would say so. Brian, yes. Right, okay. Ended up refusing to come off the bench, like we just mentioned. Yeah, wanted to go on. I didn't read that in advance, honestly. Next up, Brian again. Cantona to Wednesday and Leeds didn't really work either. Well, the Wednesday one definitely didn't, would it? Because they wanted to see him play on grass, when he went and played in Super Sixes on Astro.
That was it. It were like Masters football, weren't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, in indoor arena, and Trevor Francis allegedly said to him, "I want to see you play on grass," and he went and signed for Leeds. I think Howard Wilkinson. I can't remember who were manager at the time.
I think it were. It were a big mistake, weren't it, on Wednesday's bit off that anyway.
Yeah,
and I think they probably
superb player.
Regret it.
And I don't know about him at Leeds. I think he did all right at Leeds. He wouldn't have got a move to Man United if he didn't do that well at Leeds. It's a big step, especially at that time as well.
Yeah.
Brian, evening, Ian and Lou, and evening to Brian as well. So we've got Roberto Soldado at Spurs. Yeah, he were terrible.
Who did he join from? That were in Spain, weren't it? Were it Villarreal or?
I think it were Real Madrid, or Atletico.
Real Madrid.
But Lou's right. He were terrible. I don't think it were a huge fee, but he definitely didn't do much for him. Definitely didn't.
I can vaguely remember it. I remember him signing for him, and I remember him it didn't wait too long, I don't think, to ship him off.
No.
I know it one of them that just did not work out at all.
I think he got a season. I think he got a season, mate. That was
Yeah,
about it.
he might have gone to Villarreal after that. Some reason it seems to stick in my mind he were at Villarreal at some point, but I can't remember which way around.
So Carl says Coutinho from Liverpool to Barcelona. That's dead right. We mentioned it at the beginning. He never reached his level, did he? And he ended up being loaned out to Bayern and Villa. That's correct. And Villa had a chance. Did Villa sign him? They might have signed him.
Villa did sign him, and I think he started off okay, and then it went downhill very quickly again. And then obviously he stayed around for a bit, I believe, just not playing. And then I think he went back to Brazil, were it, after that?
Yeah, he has. And I'm sure that he nearly bankrupted Barcelona because they paid about 140 million for him.
They paid a lot of money for him. A lot of money for him.
Got in trouble with that. But the reason we didn't really bring him up, Carl, it's a good shout, is we were trying to do it for moves into English clubs instead of out of English clubs. But it's a great shout. Like the one for Eden Hazard were by Mark earlier. You know, he just didn't do it either. So we'll get Lou back on. And it's Mark is right. Wirtz has been poor. But in his defence, I've seen a little uplift in him recently. That's what Mark did mention, actually.
Yeah.
He's tweaked his role a bit. Yeah, I think time. So we've got Lou again. And Anthony is a right shout from Man Mountain. Looking after his mate.
Of course.
Looking after his mate. Good show, by the way. Good 2 shows, I should say.
Great.
This week again on Ramble FC, if you want to catch them. Top 20 takes, and what's the other one called? Is it Up the Championship? Something like that. I can't remember.
All Aboard the Championship.
All Aboard the Championship. Yeah, 2 good shows. Yeah, that's that one. So I'm not even going to read it. It's just loving each other, aren't they? Big fee for a Brazilian.
Yeah, I think people have read enough of that comment already.
Nice one, Lou. We've got Brian in again. Fernando Torres, Liverpool to Chelsea. Yeah, good shout. 50 million fee. Only scored 45 goals in 172 games. It's not bad, though. It's not that bad, is it?
It's a better record than what the players that we have mentioned. Torres were absolutely class for Liverpool, weren't he? It's, he were different gravy when he joined, and everyone expected him to do a cracking job at Chelsea, but it didn't work out quite the way it did at Liverpool for him. But yeah, it's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout, but I don't think that's a bad return. Probably not good enough for a £50 million fee, but he's worse than that.
Yeah. So we've got Brian again. Credit to Google. I don't know if that's for me or for you, Brian, but credit where credit's due for my intro anyway. Brian again. Eden Hazard flopped at Real Madrid. Yeah, he got mentioned as well. Lou again for the time. Jordi Cruyff to Man United from Barcelona. Modest fee, but his family name came with huge expectations. Yeah, he did all right at Alaves, I think, when he went back there. But yeah, you're right. He didn't really do much for Man United, but a flop for the money they paid. I don't think they could have expected much from it, to be quite honest. Do you remember him, Jord, at all?
Again, it's videos I've seen. Because I only started watching football. So I'm 31. I started watching football in 2001/2. More in 2002-03 season, but yeah, it's I was only like 7-8 year old when I first started watching, so he's a little bit before me. But obviously I know who he is. I'm not blind to it that I don't have a clue who he is. Obviously I know we're a great player and a bit of a legend and what have you. And obviously you got the Cruyff turn that's named after him. So yeah, I don't know enough about him for obviously to Man U from Barca and enough about his career to probably comment on it.
So we'll cut the comments for this time being at the moment, and we'll come back to them after. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go on to our weekly predictions league. So tonight, making a debut, we're very happy to say, we've got Susan. Hello, Susan.
Hello.
How are you? You well?
Yes, I'm good, thank you.
Lovely.
Taking all that wonderful information in.
Worlds of it.
I have to apologise for that, Susan.
No, it's very, very knowledgeable. I come on here to learn things, I'm
not sure you'll learn stuff from us.
I certainly do. Be careful. Hey, do you know, though, I know we've going on to a different subject, but when Cristiano Ronaldo went back to Man U, I mean, it was good return for his appearances, but he caused a lot of trouble, didn't he?
He did. Yeah, he did, definitely. That's good, yeah.
Yeah, I wondered if that were worth mentioning. I think he got 19 goals in 40 appearances, But he caused a lot of unrest in the dressing room, I think, didn't he?
We were thinking he were bigger than club, weren't he? And
I think he did, yeah.
They kicked him out as quick as they could, weren't it? And because he was just causing trouble. So yeah, he's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout at all.
No, I think it was very. I think it wasn't the comeback he thought it was going to be.
No, definitely not.
Because he was bigger than his name then, weren't he?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and the thing about him is his name carries that much weight that Man United probably got the money back from him just on shirt sales, around the world as well. So that's another business venture for him. But you're dead right. He was causing so much trouble that I think in the end it was a mutual parting of the ways, wasn't it?
I think so. He only lasted a season, didn't he?
Yeah. So, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to recap last week's predictions that we had. So the first game we had was Man United versus Man City, which ended up as a 2-0 Man United win. And I've got to apologise to Jimmy here because Jimmy's the only one of us who put a Man United win. Everybody else put Man City to beat him well. And I ridiculed him.
And to be honest, though, Jim only went for that because we all went for Man City. He thought, I'm going to try and get some points elsewhere here.
And he did.
It was lucky. I'm saying it's lucky. I'm not even going to congratulate him. It was lucky.
So Jimmy got a point there. The other game, Charlton, Sheffield United, 1-0 to Charlton. Everybody went for a Sheffield United win. Leeds v Fulham. I think two people, Jim and Paul, got a point. They got the win for Leeds. Everybody else went for a draw. Coventry, Leicester, 2-1 to Coventry. Jordan and the Ramblers actually went for a draw. But Jim, Paul, and Lee.
I thought we were on to a winner at the time. I'm looking at scores. It's like, yes, it's 1-1. I thought, here we go. 3 points is coming, and then obviously they scored in the end, didn't they? So.
And luckily they did, because Jim got 3 points, I got 3 points, and Paul got 3 points for correct score. So it worked for us and didn't for you, Jordan, or for the Ramblers either, which was Big Tony last week. And the last game was Sheffield Wednesday Portsmouth. Jim and Paul both went for a draw, which, I wish I'd have ridiculed them for that instead.
With injuries that Wednesday had got, yeah.
And half the team anyway.
Couldn't go for that.
So I went for a Wednesday defeat, 2-1 to Portsmouth. So I get a point. Jordan, you got it perfect. 3 points, same as Big Tony did as well. So the league table after week 14, at the bottom is Paul with 31 points. Jim just above on 32. Ramblers on 35. Jordan coming second on 36. And I'm just in front by 3 on 39. And as I always say, it's my spreadsheet, and it is what I say it is. so we're slightly in front, just. So moving on to this week, as I said, we've got Susan, so I'm a bit worried because she knows the stuff, and it could be another week where Russ got 8 points and we get obliterated, because our knowledge has been terrible lately. So I think Susan might be doing us this week. So the first,
doubt it.
Well, you don't know how bad we've been. So the first game was picked by Jim. And it's Huddersfield versus Bradford. So we'll come to you first, Susan, if that's okay.
So Huddersfield versus Bradford.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going for 2-0 to Huddersfield.
We'll take that down. Lovely. Thank you very much. Jim's gone for a 3-0 Huddersfield win. Paul's gone for a 2-1 Huddersfield win. Me and Jordan have both gone for draws. I've gone for 2-2, and Jordan's gone for 1-1. So it's a good split, really, but nobody's fancying Bradford at all, which is not surprising, I think. And Huddersfield just got a new manager as well, haven't they? New manager
They're not bad, to be honest. They're still up there, and the form, they're a bit. I don't know if out of the last 5 they might have won 3 and then drawn 1, lost 1. I think it were when I was looking. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's I think people are going for Huddersfield win there because of the new manager syndrome. But I think Bradford are not. They're not. They're not a pushover in that division. They're still having a good run. They're still up near the top of the league. So I went with a tight one. Like obviously you've got a Desmond, but 1-1. I think it's interesting. It's interesting. I love seeing people's different opinions on it. It's great to see.
And it's strange seeing Jim go against Bradford.
It's obviously they're his second club, aren't they? So
it's very, very strange. So the second game picked by Paul is West Ham v Sunderland. So if we'll come to you, Susan, what do you think of West Ham v Sunderland?
Yeah, I think West Ham 0, Sunderland 3.
Oof.
I think they'll do them.
They're a good side, Sunderland, aren't they? They've come up and they're playing really well. They attack really with real good pace, and they've got a really strong midfield. So I could see them scoring. So and West Ham, they are really struggling, aren't they?
They are.
They're really
they are. Yeah, they do. I just think they will. I think, because West Ham, their fans really criticise them, don't they? And I think the heads go down. Whereas Sunderland, I mean, their fans, they just accept anything, don't they? They're crazy for them. So I think they always take some fantastic support with them. And I do honestly, I think they'll do well.
Really well supported, Sunderland.
Yeah.
Both Newcastle and Sunderland, home and away, are followed really, really well. I think Sunderland are riding that wave of momentum, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah. I think the psychology will beat West Ham.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah. They're for me, they're a proper football club with proper football fans.
Yeah.
And the way they're going this year reminds me of when we got into the Premier League under Wilder the first time, and we were riding that wave. And you just felt like you can take anybody on, and they're taking anybody on. They're doing really well. So
they've got no fear, have they? They've got no fear.
None at all.
No fear and good players. And I think that's what we'd got when we were up there that season. We'd got players that knew each other inside out, and they would just go for it, wouldn't they? And it worked. And I think Sunderland are doing the same. Yeah.
Brought in some good signings as well, which has strengthened them, like Chappie has been outstanding. So they've done really well. The manager looks a good manager, doesn't he, this lad? So
it does.
So Jordan, what have you gone for in that game?
So I've gone for 1-0 Sunderland. I do think it'll be a tight game, but I think just for how poor West Ham have been recently, I just think Sunderland will nick it. They'll nick a goal and they'll pip them to it and get a win. Although Sunderland, to be honest, they're better at home than they are away. But West Ham aren't good away from home or at home. So that's why I went for Sunderland 1-0.
So on the other side of that, Jim's gone for a 1-0 West Ham win, which, if they're turning it around a little bit, you might fancy it. But, they just seem very negative when they play as well. And I don't know personally, I can't see, but Jim fancies it. And who am I to say anything after his Man United, Man City? Paul's gone for a 2-1 win for West Ham, and I've gone for a draw because I just really couldn't pick. I know Sunderland away from home, but doing well this season. West Ham needing to bounce soon, or else they're going to get caught in this really deep in the relegation. So I've played it safe and gone for another draw. So I've got to. So the third game is my game, and it's Doncaster versus Wigan. So Jim's gone for a 2-1 Doncaster win. Paul's gone for a 1-1 draw. I've gone for a 2-1 Wigan win. Jordan?
I've gone a 1-1 draw. Again, I see this. I'm like you at last game. I just couldn't find a reason to give either team a win, but I think both teams will score. So I went with a 1-1 draw.
And Susan,
me too. I've gone for 1-1.
It's an hard game. It is an hard game, and that's one of the reasons I picked it, because there's nothing between them. When you look at the form and things like that.
No, it's the two league positions between them at the minute. Yeah.
So
no to choose, is there?
No, not at all. And you don't want something that could be 5-0, 6-0, because it's going to be points that spread everywhere. So you're trying to make people work for it, aren't you? I suppose.
Yeah.
So the fourth game, Jordan's pick is Millwall v Charlton. And I like this game. I've got to be honest, Jordan. I think this is a really good pick.
I'm going for it because I think it's a bit more. It's just like it's a bit of a London derby, innit?
Yeah,
it's gonna have a bit of edge to it. So that's why I chose it.
And I'll let you go. I'll let you start it, mate.
Yeah, I went to Charlton last weekend to watch United, and I saw how poor they were, and they've been ridiculed again midweek for their loss to Derby for again how poor they were. And we all know Millwall are doing really well. I just think the Derby side of it might make it a little bit closer than what I think other people's going to have gone. So I went with a Millwall 2-0 win.
Yeah, and I can see that. I really can. I can see it that much that I've gone for a 3-0 win. So, I can see that coming along with that. Paul's gone for a 2-1 Millwall win, and Jimmy's also gone for a 3-0 Millwall win. So you can see where we're all going. Susan, are you joining
And I'm
us?
going for a 1-0.
Yeah.
Millwall win. Because I think Charlton will find it really difficult to go there and get anything.
Totally agree. I mean, the fans are all on the back of the manager as well at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
I read some of the comments that some of the fans were putting in the forums after they'd beat us with 9 men, and they were complaining, saying that we were even better than them with 9 men. Yeah. So they're not happy at all.
Yeah. No. The only thing that keeps that game close is Kaminski, the goalkeeper, which is what he did again when we played him. And the really good keeper. I've always liked him, really liked him, and I just think there's only so much your goalkeeper can keep you in game, isn't there? Yeah. And that's why, I didn't want to go for a 2-high score. That's why I said 2-0, because I had Kaminski back in my mind thinking he'll pull off some good saves and keep it, more a lower score.
Yeah. A really good pickup from Luton. Very good pickup from 100%. Luton. You wish that maybe we'd have picked up him from Luton and maybe not elsewhere. But, I do like Kaminski. I like what you're saying about
him. We're only £1 million as well, I think they paid for him.
Exactly. You're dead right.
Is an absolute steal for that quality goalkeeper.
At the beginning of the season, he was the top-rated goalkeeper as well. So, Charlton were flying, weren't they, at the beginning of the season?
They were.
Probably changed around. And the last game this week is picked by Susan, and it is Hull v Swansea. Susan, if you want to lead us off.
Yeah, I've gone for a 2-0 Hull win because they're very, very well supported at home, aren't they, Hull? Yeah. I mean, they get 21,000 regularly at home, and they're patient. The patient side, and even if the opposition's defence camp in their in their half of the pitch, they find a way. They're very patient this season, and they find a way to break sides down. Plus the fact that they've got Ollie McBurney. I don't know whether he's fit. I hope.
Played the other night. Yeah, played the other night.
Is it? Is he playing fit? And I think, he's just so influential in both boxes. I keep saying it whenever we mention him because I do like him. So I think, 2-0. And they both got fairly new managers, haven't they?
I think the Hull one's been in all season, but he's doing really well, isn't it?
Swansea.
Yeah.
Swansea, definitely. But it's only this season, I believe, or at the end of
last. Is it? Yeah. Jakovic.
Yeah.
Is that that's Hull's, isn't it?
That's correct.
Don't ask me to pronounce that because he'll not be able to do it. So
I'm not pronouncing any foreign names, not Eastern European.
No, I said it wrong. I said it wrong, and
you said it better than me,
Susan. Very knowledgeable when I don't know how.
It's good enough for us.
Hey, it's better than I could have done, Susan, after that bloke. Anyway, I'm not going to say it anymore.
Yeah, so 2-0.
I can see that because when you talk about Hull like that, they score lots of different types of goals. The ones on the other night on the break, they were so quick down the sides. They've also got McBurney that they can push ball into, who does really bring players in lovely as well.
Yeah,
it were a miss that we could have done with this year. Sorry, Andy the Blade won't like that. But,
I know.
It's just one of them things that all are either very good or very bad, I think. And this
That's
season,
right, they are, aren't they?
They're playing very well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had it other week, didn't we? On one of our shows that we did. We did a championship review all season, and they were up there for one at surprise. Overachievers, weren't they? Surprise package.
I'm not saying they'll carry on all season. I don't think they will.
It just depends on injuries with them. I don't think they've got a massive squad.
They just signed 3 players today.
Oh, have they? I didn't know that.
That's what I was reading. Looked like they were getting 3 players in. One of them's Kieran Dowell from Rangers. I didn't see other 2 names.
Well, played for us. He were all right for us.
He were all right for us. Obviously, our fellow Rangers, he gets a lot of injuries, and he weren't good enough up there. Rangers fans couldn't wait to see it back for him. So, but it might do well at all. You never know. It's probably a decent, half decent pickup for them.
Some players fit systems, don't they? And maybe all system fits them.
Yeah.
So Jordan, what have you gone for in the Hull Swansea game?
I've gone for 2-1 Hull in this game. I think Hull just we are there playing at the moment, and the wins that they're picking up, especially at home. I think both teams will score, but I've gone for Hull to win that one.
And for the same reasons that you just said, I've gone for a 2-1 Hull win. Paul has also gone for a 2-1 Hull win. And Jim has gone for a 3-1 Hull win. So we don't see anything else but all turning them over. So that's the end of the predictions this week. If you want to stay around, Susan, we're just going to go through some more comments. And you're more than welcome to join in with us, in answering them. So we'll go to the next one. The next one's Brian again, and his is here. I think Jack Grealish was a flop at City. I don't know about that, personally. I think
it won trophy with him. It won trophy with him. I think he started off, he struggled to get it team, and then he found his way in there, and then he were playing well at time, and he was scoring goals. He helped him to win trophies. I think we're probably looking at that as towards back end of his Man City career, he weren't getting games with it, and then obviously this, they've loaned him out to Everton. We have viewed to permanent move. I think it's 40 million with it, so they're looking to take a 60 million pound loss on him, and then wages on top of that. But I don't quite see it as a flop.
Yeah, I don't think they appreciated him, did they?
I agree with that. I also think they changed the way he played, didn't they?
Yeah.
When you think about how he played at Villa, and then when he first went there, how he played, then they just had him sat out on the edge all the time, coming backwards. So, I think that affected his efficiency within that side at Man City, and also his game. It's lost his England spot, because he were flying.
Yeah,
he was one that I wanted in England team all the time because he was one that he'd run at the wing backs.
Yeah,
and even if he'd throw himself on the floor, he'd win a foul, and it was always in a dangerous position. So we're getting us up pitch, but just lost his way a little bit, didn't he?
You couldn't predict him, could you? And I think that's what teams found very difficult about him. But very skillful at the same time as well. And he took some right hammer, didn't he? I mean, they were all after him.
Yeah.
And that's what you said there is exactly right, Susan, because he was unpredictable, and then Man City made him predictable because he just kept having to come back inside all the time instead of letting him go. So it's a shame, really, but it's a good shout. Is he a flop? I don't know, because he's a flop now because he's gone on loan somewhere, but he's won things and he did quite well from. So I wouldn't call him a flop personally. So
where is he now? Yeah, where is he now?
Everton.
Everton, that's right. Everton. He played well for Everton, didn't he, earlier in the week?
He's doing very well.
He's fractured his leg, I believe.
Sorry, mate, what did you say?
He's fractured his leg, I believe. So I think he's been out for a while now. So
he might be done this season.
Oh my God, did he?
That's what I read. Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
Sure, he's injured anyway. I know that.
Oh, flaming heck.
So Lou says, just on Dave Morwood's shout, Steve Daly, before my time, but my dad told me about this one a few times, said he was a fantastic player and just fell off a cliff after that move. Good shout. Nice one, Lou. Thanks for that. Saves me having to look at it, doesn't it, when I'm trying to do other things. So Brian's the next one up, and it's Roque Jr. at Leeds. Yeah, I remember him. 7 games before being sent back to Italy. I just don't know the fee that Brazilian international, I'm sure he was. It's a long time ago, that is as well, Roque Jr.
Yeah, but again, before my time.
Yeah, I can't remember him that much, Brian, but I'll take your word for it, definitely. This is a really good shout. This next one from Lou. Winston Bogarde at Chelsea. He played 4 games, I believe, and they paid top dollar for him on a 4-year contract, and they tried to get him to leave. And he said, why will I think you're on 30 grand a week at the time. It's quite a lot back then. And he said, why would I want to leave Chelsea when nobody else will pay me as much as I'm getting now? And he just sat in the reserves on his money to the end of his contract. So that's a definite great shout. That is. I forgot all about him, Winston Bogarde. Dutch centre half, really good shout. Brian Cassidy again, as Lee said in his intro, the human factor, you can't assume it's not going to happen. That's dead right. Some players just can't handle some clubs.
Yeah.
I really do think that. Brian, lovely this one. Please like and subscribe and share the channel. Costs no and really helps us build the channel. You can really help by telling other people about us. Your recommendation is a powerful thing. Dead right, Brian. Thank you very much for that. Dave Morwood just got back to Daily. He was touted as worst. Here we go. Waste of money in football, and manager and chairman blamed each other. That's not a shock, is it? Let's be honest. Not a shock. The Mudmen at Chelsea for me. Oh, the Mudman. Yes, thank you very much, Dave. Appreciate that. So what we got here? Out of your 4, I would go for Mudrick. That's Ian. Thank you, Ian.
And I agree.
Oh, cheers, mate. I might win one at last. Carl, was it Ali Dia pretending to be George Weah's cousin? That's dead right, yeah. Not a transfer fee, but wasn't even pro nothing. Dead right. He phoned Graham Souness, didn't he? Pretending to be George Weah.
Did he have a trial or something?
No, they signed him.
Or
They
did
signed him
actually
without a
sign him?
trial. He actually came on for Southampton in a game, and they took him back off. Yeah, it was that bad. James says Fabian Barthez a flop at Man United after a good World Cup.
I don't remember
yes
him.
and no.
I don't remember him being a flop personally. Me.
No,
I thought he was a good keeper that were prone to a mistake at times.
eccentric.
I wouldn't have said he were a flop, me personally.
No, yeah, I'm with you. Didn't they have Laurent Blanc at the same time as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't have said it. Do you remember him, Susan, the goalie, the bald-headed keeper at Man United? No, I don't think she can hear me.
Sorry, say it again.
Okay. I was saying, can you remember Fabian Barthez?
Yes.
At Manchester United, the goalkeeper?
Yes.
Would you class him as a flop?
No, he was very unpredictable, weren't he?
Yeah.
Very, very slight as well. He wasn't really much of a presence, was he?
Exactly.
Tiny, thin, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think so. I think he was full of character as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I've got one for you.
Go on,
I've got one for you. Right, listen to this one. Patrick Bamford couldn't get a game at Leeds. Signed for Sheffield United.
What's not a flop?
Stratospheric.
Definitely not a flop at Sheffield United.
Definitely not a flop for us at the minute, anyway.
Not a free transfer, anyway. He's repaid that for me up to now.
Yeah, I couldn't resist that one.
Moving on to Brian. Can you imagine the audacity to claim to be a world-class player's cousin? That's a really good call. That's the Ali Dyer one. That's fantastic. So Meldrew's up next. Nice to see Susan on again. Always speaks sense, unlike us lot. That is very true as well, Mark. Very true indeed.
He's very knowledgeable, is Susan, Mark, unlike yourself.
I make it up.
Well, it sounds like you know what you're on about, Susan.
Blagging it.
Ian says our worst transfer is a toss-up between two keepers, Olsen and Gerbich. Verips as well. I'd put in there as well. We could go that way. But I'm not arguing. I can't argue. But there'll be a few others.
Yeah, you were terrible.
There'll be a few others. Just you, Meldrew, yeah, about the not speaking sense. James, 2-0 Bradford. Oh, yeah, good call. I think, what we've gone for that one? Bradford. Oh, James has gone for a Bradford win. Okay, yeah, only one, James. Brian's gone for a 2-2 in that one. Mark's gone for 2-1 to Bradford.
Nice to see you haven't copied me this week, Mark.
Makes a change, doesn't it?
It does.
Meldrew and Brian having a little laugh at each other. There you go. So the Sunderland game. Sunderland to win 2-1, says James. Yeah, it's a fair shout. It's a fair shout. I could see it happening, and I could see a draw. I can't really see West Ham winning, but you never know. You never know. What's this one? 2-1 West Ham as well. Brian's gone. That's same as Paul's gone. Meldrew's gone for 2-0 Sunderland. Yeah, I can see that as well. Especially after what Susan said. Yeah. I really could. She spelt it out really well, actually. Brian, we have a live on the internet moment with Susan. Oh, right. I didn't see that, but maybe we did. Maybe looking back. So James has gone 1-0 Doncaster against Wigan. Brian's gone 2-1 Donny. Meldrew 1-0 Donny. James is coming with Millwall 3-1. Yeah, I think we all fancy Millwall here.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
Brian's 3-0 Millwall. Meldrew 3-0 Millwall. Yeah, not many can see much against that. So Brian, on the Hull game, Brian has gone 3-1 Hull. Yeah, I mean, that's same as Paul. We've all got Hull down to win that. Hull 2-1 Meldrew. James 3-0 Hull. Yeah, you can see that's a game that if Hull don't win it, you'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
I do think Swansea might nick a goal, but I can't see him beating them. Ian saying, great job, Susan. Totally agree.
Absolutely.
Brian, thank you very much. Jord, Lee, well led. Great job, lads. Susan, great cameo. Definitely. Paddy McNair is another Hull signing.
Yeah.
It's good signing, that. I used to like it. He's getting on a little bit now, but good player, Paddy McNair.
It's a good championship experience player, isn't it?
Definitely. So we've got a bit of class on the stream. Well done, Susan. Again, I cannot argue with that whatsoever. He's dead right. What we got here now? So,
You are funny.
so I vote for Susan getting her own show. Mr. Vancouver says, "Hey, if Mr. Vancouver says it, we're all up for it. That'll
That's
do
it.
for us." James, I'd take Paddy McNair as a squad member. I would have a few years ago, Paddy. I wouldn't at the moment. I think he's just past his best, to be honest. Biggest flop marks was my darts game last night against Motson. That's fair enough.
I've got a little set up.
Second.
I've got a little set. Where's he gone?
I mean, just 1 second, mate. I've just had to do something here. Sorry.
It's all right. I'll explain that what he's saying, because I've got a dart set up in my garage. So after we finished on stream last night, I played him at darts and comfortably beat him is what we're saying. So
not surprised, mate. Not surprised. So we've got Brian Cassidy. Roque Jr. cost £242,000 per game. Yeah, that's an heavy cost. That's Davies' money, Tom Davies' money at Sheffield United. That's bad. And his injury, Roque Jr. might just have been not good enough.
Yeah,
You know, I'm sure Tom Davies. It's not his fault. It's just unfortunate. Brian, Mr. V, you smooth talker. He always has been. He always has been, Mr. V. Is Tom Davies a flop? James says. You'd have to say yes. The quality's there. It's just his body's letting down. It's unfortunate.
he's never available.
Yeah. And what does
He had a good career at Everton, didn't he? But he come to us,
correct.
and he's never been available. You've got the stats on that one, so you know.
I'm not bringing him up again. It's getting ridiculous for lad, to be fair. And the problem was at the end of his Everton career, we were having issues as well with his fitness, and we've just took him on board. It's a real shame because he's a really good footballer there.
Yeah, what a player when he's fit.
Yeah, he really is. It's a real shame.
Yeah.
Dave, great debut, Susan. Got a fan club going, Susan. We're happy here.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
You'd be welcome back again, Susan. Definitely welcome back.
Lou says, great show, guys. Jimmy will be happy when he finally sleeps off the Midnight Express. He's out with his kids, I believe, mate, having a meal for the birthday. He was earlier, so but he was tired. I spoke to him earlier. I think it was 3 o'clock he got in this morning. Where we are, there we are. Susan looks perplexed. Someone came in the room and she seemed to shoo them out. Oh, right, okay. That's the I'm on the internet moment, is it? Maybe I missed that.
I am live on the internet.
You definitely are, Susan. You definitely are. Russ says, great debut, Susan. Good predictions. Yeah, they were good. But we knew. I'm worried about Susan, Russ. I think she might do your 8 points, to be quite honest. James says, Mark Bosnich a flop at Man United. 23 games in 3 years. Definitely a flop at Man United. Couldn't kick a ball either. Good keeper, couldn't kick a ball. Meld was going for a 2-1 narrow defeat. In the darts.
In the darts. He said it was narrow because I didn't get warmed up in that first leg, but then the second two, it was comfortable. You just remember that, Meldrew. And
the last comment of the night is from Brian, and it's join the family and community that is the Blades Ramble. Three channels of Blades goodness done the right way. Like, subscribe, and share. Come on, get in the family. So I want to thank you, Susan, for coming on. Really appreciate it, and well done on the predictions.
Thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome. It's been a pleasure. I'm just going to put a little plug in now. We've got, in the coming days, Jim has a video coming out of a chat he recently had with Michael Brown. So keep your eyes peeled for that on Blades Ramble. Plus, tomorrow night, join Batman Lou and Russ for a watch-along of the Derby County versus West Brom match on Ramble FC. Or, for an ad-free experience, you can watch it on Behind the Ramble. It's going out on both channels. So, anything to add, Jordan, before we call it a day today?
No, I just think for your first, obviously I did my first, lead last night. You've done your first lead tonight. Absolute top job, mate. Natural at it. So, yeah, well done. And Susan, you've done a great job tonight. You've been a welcomed addition, and you'll definitely be welcome back on anytime soon.
That's very kind of you. Yeah, and I'll second that, Lee. Well done. Very professional.
Thank you very much. I was a bit nervous at the start, but I've settled down. It was easy with having you two on. Thank you very much, especially Jordan.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Yeah.
Cheers. So that's the end of your football therapy session for tonight. Thanks for watching, and here's hoping your team has a successful 3-point weekend, all apart from Ipswich, and we just hope you have a very enjoyable day in Sheffield. Catch you all next week. Take care. Bye now.
Bye.